What a weekend it was in the WNBA. Couple of more teams clinched playoff spots. Asia Wilson showed why she's the runaway MVP. But is there somebody trying to make a case for MVP? Not named Caitlin Clark. Plus Maya Moore. Jersey is retired for the Minnesota Lynx. We'll talk about it right now on Shooting Lights Out.
Sound like some Viking music, don't it?
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick it again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go, let's go.
Shooting Lights Out.
What's up, good people? How y'all doing today on this Monday, August 26, 2024, for another edition of Shooting Lights Out? And if you notice the title, recapping the weekend I was in the WNBA, and let's take a look at the MVP race. Or is there an MVP race to be talked about? Because I have said on this program many times the MVP is locked, but if there is a race, because I want to entertain some folks who they put a certain player in there. But if there is a race, I have another player in mind that comes before that certain player. So I'm going to entertain y'all for once. But first and foremost, as we get started here on Shooting Lights Out, and thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We are at 200 subscribers. It's a slow build, but we are building week in, week out, month in and month out, show by show. I'm very thankful for it. Thankful for y'all doing what y'all doing for me. The support is nevertheless. And my brother, Wise Hefe in the building. What's up, my brother? Speaking of him, you will get this episode of Shooting Lights Out. This episode that I'm recording right here, you'll get it on Real Rise Radio on Thursday, prime time, 7 p.m. So y'all get to hear my MVP talk, okay? For those who listen to the Real Rise Radio. And for those of you who want to know what platform to get this podcast, you can get on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and pretty much wherever else you listen to on podcasts is at. So now let's get down to business, because the first order of business is always we got to go around the hardwood. And to begin our Around the Hardwood segment, we have the Maui Invitation returning to the island after fire. UConn tops the field. Now, the two-time reigning defending national champion UConn will highlight the Maui Invitational, which returns to the Civic Center a year after fatal wildfires took place that forced the move to Honolulu, which nobody will complain anyway, as long as you're in Hawaii, we're good. Nevertheless, the Mario Invitation Tournament will take place November 25th through the 27th, Thanksgiving week, as it invites schools and scheduled on Tuesday, and this is how it will play out. The defending champion, the Yukon Husky, will take on Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers on opening day, followed by Colorado going against Michigan State. Tom Izzo back in the Mario Invitation. You're looking to see that. Let's see what Colorado did. They had a good year last year. You know, they made it, if I remember correct, they made it to the round of 32, Sweet 16, somewhere in there before they got knocked off. It was a good run for them. See how they do. We have Auburn and Iowa State going at each other in the Mario Invitational. Iowa State was one of the breakout teams, man. That was awesome last year. And plus, we know about Auburn and Bruce Pearl. So that's a game I'm looking forward to. And then we have Dayton, one of the top 18 schools in the country, going against North Carolina. So I'm looking forward to see those games, how that play out, how that invitation will play out down in Maui this year and whatnot. So looking forward to that. Thanksgiving week, my invitation. Don't miss it. Next on the docket, Bobby Hurley is returning to Cameron Indoors. Now, Bobby Hurley, he played on the Meister Skelty from 1989 to 1993. Hurley was part of two of the Duke's national championships that's been hanging around in Cameron Indoor. He is the NCAA's all-time assist leader with 1,076 assists. He's returning to Cameron Indoors as the Arizona State Sun Devils play an exhibition game at Cameron Indoors against the Duke Blue Devils. This game will be taking place October 27. Basically, you can say 2 months from now. And it'll be going towards this charity exhibition game because pretty much it's for charity. We'll be going to the Duke Children's Hospital, as Duke announced back on last Wednesday, the 21st. So very nice suggestion. Bobby Hurley returning to where it all began for college for him at Cameron Indoors in Durham, North Carolina, as a Duke Blue Devils. And he's doing it for charity. So I can't say nothing bad about that. Nice to see you return, and let's continue to do well. Speaking of Duke, before I move on to my next one, this just happened earlier today around 9:45 a.m. Duke's Cooper Flagger signs New Balance shoe endorsement deal today. Number one prospect in ESPN's 225 NBA draft class has signed a significant shoe endorsement deal with New Balance. Flagger joins a New Balance brand tied closely to his home state, including a Maine manufacturing company that is 25 miles from where he grew up in Newport, Maine. Interesting. New Balance is making it. You got Kawhi Leonard, you got Jamal Murray, I think Coco Gauff from Tennis World, as the U.S. Open has started today. New Balance, they got some people. They making some moves. I got to give New Balance their props. All right. Now you adding the number one guy in this upcoming college basketball season to the roster. Got to admit, New Balance, you're doing your thing. I have to admit on that one. I'm very, very surprised at how New Balance is doing their thing. So shout out to Cooper and New Balance for getting things done. So now, as we get there, now let's head to the pros because I got a couple of things I want to talk about for the pros. First order of business, the NBA files motion to dismiss Warner Brothers Discovery's lawsuit. Now, those of you who don't remember, Warner Brothers is suing the NBA for media rights deal breach contract. Those of you who don't recall, the NBA signed a new deal for billions of dollars, close to $76 billion. That would include ESPN, Disney, and ABC. That would include NBC getting NBA back, and that would include Amazon Prime, not Warner Brothers. That's the problem. And Turner wanted to match Amazon instead of NBC, but the NBA still wanted to roll with Amazon Prime. They want streaming. All right. So this is what the article says here. The NBA has asked the New York Supreme Court to dismiss a lawsuit by Warner Brothers Discovery, which alleged that the league breached its contract by rejecting Warner Brothers' matching offer for a new media's right deal and instead signing with Amazon. The league filed this motion for dismissal late Friday, and it contained the NBA's pointed reply several fronts to Warner Brothers' lawsuit filed on July 26th, a month ago. 2 days after the NBA signed a 11-year media rights deal worth nearly $76 billion with a B. That was with Disney, partner company of ESPN, NBC, and Amazon Prime Video that runs through the 2025-2026 season through the 2035-36 season. All right. The new media right deal effectively ends a nearly 4-decade business relationship between the NBA and Turner, which began airing NBA games in the 1984-1985 season. Now, this battle's going to keep going. We don't know how long this battle's going to take, but it's going to keep going. We are not done, okay? Because Turner is fighting, and they should fight, to be honest, because we're talking about the number one NBA show in the world when it comes to Inside the NBA with Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Sir Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal. Post and pregame. They got it. Hands down, no one's closer in the NBA. That's the fact. So that Mike Greenberg was now on the covers of the NBA show. Then it went to Malik Andrews. And the ESPN haven't found a way yet, but yet ESPN is the leading partner for the NBA because they got ESPN and ABC, plus all the ESPN Plus streaming that they have. So we're going to see how this turns out. There's no fight with NBC. NBC is back, so you would get that famous NBC NBA basketball music that we all been waiting for. That will be coming back. Matter of fact, they did it for the Olympics when anytime they showed the women's game or the men's game for the Olympics down in Paris, they played that favorite theme music that everybody loves from NBC. So that's coming back. No questions there. It's just Amazon Prime. It's streaming versus television. Pretty much what this is. NBA feel they already got television wrapped up with ESPN, ABC, and NBC. They want streaming parts, and one of the largest streaming platforms is Amazon Prime. So that's what they're trying to get their avenues to go in. You know, you already got the WNBA getting that part of it, so the NBA trying to join that part. But like I said, we talking about the number one basketball show in all the world inside the NBA. Can't lose that. People don't want to lose that. So this battle is going to be very interesting here, okay? Very, very interesting. Now, one more thing before we close out this opening segment of the show. Diamond drops Mavs Pelicans but agrees to NBA NHL games in 2024-2025. Diamond Sports Group, this happened 3 days ago. Diamond Sports Group, the bankroll operation of Bally Sports channels have reached new deal with the NBA and the NHL and has ensured that it will broadcast games for teams under its profile at least through the upcoming 2024-2025 season. A part of this agreement, which includes modification in linear and direct-to-consumer rights, Diamond has dropped the NBA's Dallas Mavericks and New Orleans Pelicans, leaving the company with 13 NBA teams and 9 NHL teams. So I'm going to jump to the part where which teams are those 13 NBA teams that you're running about under the profile is the Atlanta Hawks, the Charlotte Hornets, Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons, Indiana Pacers, Los Angeles Clippers, Memphis Grizzlies, Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks, Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, Orlando Magic, and the San Antonio Spurs. So those of you who are in areas, cities, towns, whatever the case may be, that has Bally Sports channels, those are the teams that you'll be seeing for the upcoming 2024-2025 season. All right. And that would do it for Around the Hardwood. Now, with that being said, we're going to take our first break. And in taking our first break is what y'all here to see. What y'all here to see, hear me talk about. All right. And it's no other than this. The weekend that was in the WNBA. And do we need to have a conversation about the MVP? And if we do, who's in it? Who's not? Who's close? Who's winning it? Whatever the case may be. We'll be back.
I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition,
Dear whatever the law firm is.
Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join Ryan McCarthy
I became a Jets fan because Kurt the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
and Dustin Henry
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
as they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts.
WWE Shop is your online source for all things WWE. Be a part of the excitement and score wrestling gear for big events like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. From current superstars to legends, from Raw to SmackDown to NXT. Don't miss this chance to shop for the most awesome WWE merch. Shop for the best deals as well as WWE gift cards and save big on your favorite items. WWE Shop at Fanatics Experience.
Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted Gunther against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site. AJ Styles walked out there, seen LA Knight. Oh, okay, then LA Knight hopped out the car. Let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Play Caller Sports Talk YouTube channel. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Showing Lights Out. Now, I thank y'all for your support. Now, if y'all have anything that y'all want to talk about, throw it in the chat as we here live on this Monday. We finna get into the WNBA because the weekend was a very good weekend. Doing things a little different this week for this week's episode, as I did not normally do. So let me jump right into it. All right, on Friday, we had a quadruple head on Friday. We saw the Mercury in the Atlanta Dreams hot streak coming out of the Olympic break. Okay, 82-80. Good win for the Phoenix Mercury. They needed a win because they was doing some up and down stuff. So that's a good win for them. Connecticut Suns continue to be the second best team in the league, maybe the third best team in the league, depending on how you look at some other teams. Over the Sky, 82-80. The Mystics got the win over the Sparks, giving the Sparks an inside track to the number one pick of Pace Becker sweepstakes. And then the Minnesota Lynx took down the reigning defending back-to-back WNBA champions, the Las Vegas Lakers, 87-74. That was Friday. Let's move to Saturday because Saturday was very interesting. We only had 2 games Saturday, but Saturday was very interesting. The Connecticut Suns took the trip to Barclays Center and they took down the New York Liberty 72-64. I think that's the first time the Connecticut Suns has beaten the Liberty in quite some time. Because the Liberty has been owning the Connecticut Suns, and the trade from Marie Marbury from the Chicago Sky before the All-Star break helped, and they might give Connecticut Suns some confidence when it comes to the New York Liberty, which I don't like because I need my Liberty to win the title. Because my New York Liberty, they are the only WNBA team that's been here from the existence of the WNBA to never win a championship. So this team has been around since 1996, and they have not won the title. That's a long time. I could be wrong. 1992. And then you had the Minnesota Lynx hosted the Indiana Fever on Maya Moore night. I will get to that in a minute. And the Lynx beat the Indiana Fever 90-80 on Saturday night. Now, two things happened that made a couple of things happen. One thing is with the Connecticut Suns win over the New York Liberty and the Lynx win over the Indiana Fever, both of them are joining the New York Liberty in the playoffs. It is official. Saturday was official. We knew they was going to make it, but I can officially come here, say that Saturday was official. Connecticut Suns, Minnesota Lynx in the playoffs with the New York Liberty. The other spots we still have to figure out, so to speak. And yes, Wise, we are still the number one team. I know this, but it took Connecticut Suns a long time to get a dub on us, and they finally got one. So that could play a pivotal role down the road. I'm just throwing that out there, being completely honest. Another thing that I'm gonna spend some time with, and I'm gonna make this full screen because I need y'all. I gotta educate some people who haven't been following the WNBA because Caitlin Clark has now showed up. This lady right here, Maya Moore. I have said this to a number of my friends when we talk basketball, when we talk women's basketball. I might have said it on the show a couple of times, but I don't know if people really heard me. This woman right here, everybody would say Diana Taurasi is the GOAT for the WNBA. My thing is, if this woman would have played another 5 more years, 5 more seasons, she would be the GOAT of the WNBA. That's how great Maya Moore was. She only played 7 seasons, and I would love to consider her my GOAT because she was that phenomenal. When she came into the WNBA, you couldn't stop her. Okay? You couldn't stop her in 7 years. So if I had to equate this, right? We know how everybody would say, what if Barry Sanders wouldn't have stepped away in the prime of his career? What he would have looked like? What if that rushing record would have been if Barry Sanders didn't step away from what he did? That's what I'm saying about Maya Moore. What she would have accomplished in the WNBA if she didn't step away in her prime of it. She only did 7 seasons. 7 seasons. And she was unstoppable. You don't believe me? Let me educate you, you fine people. Coming out of this is her college resume here, okay? Coming out of UConn, all right? When she was at UConn from 2007 to 2011, all right? 2-time NCAA national champion from 2009 and 010. She was the most valuable player in the tournament in 2010. 4-time first team All-American, 2-time Naismith College Player of the Year in 2009 and 2011. 2-time John R. Wooden Award winner in 2009 and 2011. 2-time AP College Player of the Year. We're talking both men and women here. Men and women. 2009, 2011. 3-time Big East Player of the Year. 2-time Big East Tournament Most Outstanding Player in 2008, 2009, 2011. That's her college career. This is what Minnesota was drafting number 1 overall in 2011. That's what they was drafting. Now, okay, that's what she did in college. What about the pros? It's different from pro to college. Yeah, I got you. But guess what? She only played 7 seasons. This is what she did in her 7 seasons. 4-time WNBA champion. 2013 Finals MVP. 6-time WNBA All-Star. 3-time All-Star Game MVP. 2014 WNBA MVP. 5-time All WNBA First Team. 2-time All Defensive Second Team. And those of you, and I'm talking to the Caitlin Clark fans, said, guess what? Guess who was Caitlin Clark's favorite player growing up? Maya Moore. Which it was fitting that they had the retirement ceremony when the Indiana Fever, led by Caitlin Clark on Saturday, was the night that they retired her jersey because they knew Caitlin Clark's favorite player because she said her number sign was Maya Moore. But most of you didn't see Maya Moore play because y'all weren't paying attention to the WNBA back then. She did all this in 7 seasons. 7. Diana Taurasi is playing her, 20th year, 22nd year, something like that. Imagine Maya Moore giving you 12 years. That's 5 more seasons. Just imagine if Maya Moore gave you 5 more seasons. I'm talking GOAT status for real. And I'm not even joking. You can ask Ku McKenka. Me and Ku had this conversation. Don't get me wrong. He brought up a very good point when he brought up Sherry Miller. It is unfortunate Sherry Miller couldn't play when the WNBA first started because she was unspecial. So Ku can vouch for me when I tell you Maya Moore would have been my GOAT of the WNBA if she would have kept playing because she was that phenomenal. Everybody says Diana Taurasi. But I'll hold up Diana Taurasi's lengthy career against Maya Moore's. And you tell me who would you take? I'm taking Maya Moore. She was cold-blooded. She was about it. And you weren't going to stop her. I don't care what you would have said. She could have told you what she was going to do, and you still couldn't stop it. That's how lethal and great Maya Moore was. In 7 seasons. She didn't even do 10. Okay, and shout out to my man Ku McKay. I'll be seeing him a little later on today for Monarchs of Wrestling. You know, but I want y'all to understand, and you Caitlin Clark fans, go back and watch Maya Moore play and see why that was Caitlin Clark's favorite player in basketball. Because she was different. There was no stopping Maya Moore in the Minnesota Lynx. Okay. Thanks. Cool says facts, and he's saying, "What's up to the big homie Wise?" Let's go back and do your research. I know that's a word we don't want to hear, but do your research, Caitlin Clark fans. Go see why the people that the player that y'all love the most, why she's the way that she is, because she watched Maya Moore play and she watched Maya Moore do damage. Not to mention she's a 2-time gold medalist. 2012 and 2016. When the women's team was on a roll and no country in the world was touching our women's basketball team. Like nobody was. Okay. And we just talking 7 seasons. 7. All right. My boy says she should be a lot of their favorite players. No doubt. No doubt. So to see Maya Moore have her jersey retired was a great thing. To see her do it, to see her have it with a person that is taking the WNBA, and let's be quite honest, Caitlin Clark has brought the attention to the WNBA. We're going to be completely honest. And her favorite player, jersey's getting retired in the game that you're playing, in the same arena that you're playing in against the Minnesota Lynx. No doubt about it. I never got a chance to talk to Wise about it. I don't know how Wise feel about it, but if Maya Moore could have gave me 5 more years, man, she would have been the GOAT. Just 5. Just 5 more years. Get 12. She the GOAT. I'm just saying. Because she was that. You couldn't stop that. You couldn't stop that Minnesota Lynx team. That was just ridiculous. It was just nonstop with her. She was cold-blooded. She smelled blood in the one and she went for it. And she was taking you out. That's with Diana Taurasi in the league. That is with Brittany Griner in the league. Okay. That was with Sue Bird in the league. That was before Adrian Wilson. That was before the Las Vegas Aces became the Las Vegas Aces. There was the San Antonio Superstars, I believe, at the time. That's before they became the Las Vegas Aces. That was when Cheyenne Ogumake, who's now doing work for ESPN, she was on the LA Sparks around that time. NECA was part. She was in the league. I don't know if she was with Seattle or she was with LA at the time. Okay. And why? Why says Maya Moore was the female Kobe. And everybody know how great Kobe was. And my man Wise got a lot more knowledge in sports than I do. And he's comparing her to Kobe. I'm just telling you. That's how great Maya Moore was. All right. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to take a break right here. And then when we come back, we're going to get back into our little recap of the weekend because I wanted to make sure that Maya Moore got the just due that she deserved because she will be my GOAT. All for it. We'll be back.
The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Into the Net FC.
Kylian Mbappe just all of a sudden finally understood his role, and I think he finally understood that everything Kylian Mbappe has accomplished already, you know, there is still a hell of a lot waiting for him in the future. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years old. He has accomplished so much, and you know what? Kylian Mbappe has not even reached his prime. Finally seeing, you know, the Marcus Rashford we have been hoping for such a long time, you know. But, you know, this game, you know, after everything Manchester United has been, you know, doing lately, you know, this was actually the ultimate test, you know, to see if Manchester United, you know, honestly was all of a sudden for real.
I explain this. The United States, maybe they have to suffer this loss as a lesson to learn to prepare for the future. Because 4 years from now, the World Cup is in not one, not two, but three countries. The United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. Into the Net FC is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Shop hats and official sports gear at Liz. Liz is the leader and #1 destination for hats, gears, and everything that moves you, making it the perfect shop for fans to find official sports hats, merchandise, and gear. Represent your team, your town, and your style with a snapback adjustable fitted hat or beanie from thousands of college and pro teams. Browse the very latest sports jerseys and t-shirts from the best teams out there. Liz has officially licensed professional and college sport team apparel and hats featuring the hottest brands and trends. Shop online or visit one of the 100 stores across the country. Locker Rooms by Liz.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents The crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Bobby J and Wise El Jefe, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shooting the Lights. I had to take that break to acknowledge the one and only Maya Moore, her jersey being retired on Saturday. And my man Kuma Ken agrees with me and Wise. I agree. Same dog in her too. That was that mumble mentality. But you know what? We're going back to Saturday because we're going to continue our weekend recap with that game between the Minnesota Lynx and the Indiana Fever. As you can see here, 10-point win for the Minnesota Lynx. They clinched a playoff spot. We talked about the Maya Moore, and you see the numbers there. Caitlin Clark, 23 points, 8 for 18 from the field, 3 for 8 from three-point range with five rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 steal. Napheesa Collier, 31 points, 5 boards, an assist, a steal, and a block. Here's the crazy thing. I have heard people talk about if they're supposed to be an MVP race, Caitlin Clark should be in it. Matter of fact, she should be number 2 in the MVP race behind Asia Wilson. I would like to be different, but I'm not going to do that just yet. My man Wise, new episode of Papa J and Wise and Hefe coming soon in September. We're only a few days away from September, so should be interesting to see what Papa J and Wise got cooking up. And Wise, phenomenal episode on mentality last week. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you for going off on Jason Woodlock and that other guy from Boston. I ain't gonna say his name, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to what's next with you and Cole Johnson for mentality. Also, Papa J and Wise are healthy. Looking forward to that as well. But let me show y'all something. This is Napheesa Collier, all right? Since coming back from the Olympic break when she was part of Team USA that helped bring home gold, an 8th straight gold medal, by the way, even though it was a 1-point win over France, but still, gold is gold. Since coming back, and she was injured leading up to the Olympics, okay? This is what she did. First game, look at this. First game she came back was against the Washington Mystics. I think she had 17 and 8 in that game. Then they played again a couple of days later. 30 points, 81.3% from the field, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Then you had the champs twice in a row. First game, 23 points, 7 boards, 4 assists. That's against Asia Wilson, by the way. Then you had to play again a couple of days later. 27 points, 18 boards, and 5 assists. And then we just saw the stats from Saturday against the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, 31 points, 5 boards. Napheesa Collier has been balling. And the Minnesota Lynx are 5-0 since the break. 5-0. They are a half a game back of the Connecticut Sun because I believe the Connecticut Sun has one less loss than the Minnesota Lynx, so they played 1 less game. All right. So I'm just saying, like, did y'all forget about the Commissioner's Cup winner and the MVP that was the Commissioner's Cup MVP and Napheesa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx? Did we just forget about her all of a sudden? Did we? Well, for those of you who want to talk about MVP and who should be behind Asia Wilson, because I'm going to say this again, nobody's catching Asia Wilson. But there's a conversation, those of you who want to throw Caitlin Clark out there. Let me give you Napheesa Collier, all right? And my man Kuma Kane talking to Wise saying that ban rent was much needed. And then he says, Enrique got to be top 2 in his opinion. I bet it different in that one because Napheesa Collier, as you see, this is Caitlin Clark's numbers. About 18 points a game, shooting 41.5 from the field, 33% from three-point range, giving you 5.7 rebounds a game, 8.3 assists a game, which is number 1 in the WNBA, 1.4 steals a game, and 0.8 blocks a game. And the Indiana Fever are 13 and 16, 7th in the WNBA. Napheesa Collier, Commissioner's Cup champion, Commissioner's Cup MVP, 21.1 points per game. That is third in the WNBA. She is shooting 50.5% from the field, which is top 10. She's shooting at 34.2% from three-point, which is better than Caitlin Clark, and that's Caitlin Clark's specialty. She's giving you 10 rebounds a game. That's fourth in the WNBA. You get 3.6 assists, and we understand that. 2.1 steals a game. That's second in the league. 1.2 blocks a game. That's eighth in the league. And the Minnesota Lynx are 22-8 and third in the WNBA. If you want to have an MVP conversation and say that who should be behind Asia Wilson, it's Napheesa Collier. Don't give me Caitlin Clark. You can give me all the numbers you want. I gave you the numbers right here for the season. She's literally, Napheesa Collier is top 5 in points, rebounds, and steals. Caitlin Clark is only top 5 in one category, and that is assists. Napheesa Collier is top 10 in field goal percentage, and you add blocks into it. Caitlin Clark is not. I looked it up. I looked it up. I looked at the sites, and especially the WNBA site, because I have the app. Wanted to see who was top 10 and what categories were we looking at. And crazily, Napheesa Collier is shooting a better field goal percentage than Caitlin Clark. She's shooting a better 3-point percentage than Caitlin Clark. Only thing Caitlin Clark has over Napheesa Collier is the assists. She has more assists than Caitlin Clark. She has more blocks than Caitlin Clark. She scores more points than Caitlin Clark. So if there's anybody that's number 2 in the MVP race, Napheesa Collier is number 2. Now maybe Caitlin Clark can be 3. Maybe Cool and whoever else can have that debate if Arika Gumorale should be 3 or Caitlin Clark should be 3. But Napheesa Collier is number 2 in my MVP. Asia Wilson's number 1, and I'm not changing no time soon. But if you want to add somebody in there because you want to do top 3 and whatnot, Napheesa Collier is number 2, and we can argue about number 3. I can care less. But y'all gonna put some respect on Napheesa Collier's name. Okay, we talking about a team that's not being respected at all. Because when you talk about the WNBA, you bring up Caitlin Clark, you bring up Angel Reese, you bring up the Las Vegas Aces, you bring up the New York Liberty. All valid points. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they're doing something that has not been done in the WNBA. Okay, they're bringing attention to the league. I get that. New York Liberty, they're the New York Liberty. There was in the NBA Finals last year. The WNBA Finals last year with the Las Vegas Aces. We already know. But if we're going to really sit here and really talk about the WNBA for this season, y'all better not leave out Napheesa Collier and the Minnesota Lynx out of that category. Oh, and by the way, they have beaten the Minnesota Lynx have beaten the New York Liberty 2 out of the 3 times already. We have played them 3 times and they beat us 2 of them. Right now, the Minnesota Lynx is kicking our butts. Oh, and by the way, they just beat the reigning champs twice in a row. Do I need to go back and show you what happened to the Las Vegas Aces against Minnesota Lynx? That was just this last week. Twice in a row. And they just beat Caitlin Clark and Indiana. So let's make sure when we talk WNBA and we talking teams to look out for, teams to respect, make sure Minnesota's in that category. Make sure when you discuss MVP race, if there is a race, in my opinion, there's not. But we are going to discuss MVP race and have a top 3 like every other sport does. Napheesa Collier better be in there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let's really talk about this. Let's really have an educated conversation with this. I'm not throwing shade at Caitlin Clark, but I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all must have forgotten Napheesa Collier was doing her thing before she got injured, and she came back and picked up where she left off at. Let's talk. Y'all like giving me numbers? Here your numbers. Dispute these numbers right here. And that's her missing a month of action because of a plantar fasciitis foot injury before she came back for the Olympics. And she's still busting people behind. I'm willing to listen. Let's have a conversation. So if y'all want to give me a top 3 MVP, go for it. But I know the official card better be above Caitlin Clark. Because the numbers don't lie. Yeah, that's how much y'all want to use. Numbers don't lie. And there you go. All right. That's what I'm going to get off on Saturday. Let's go to what happened yesterday. A couple of things took my interest yesterday. Las Vegas Aces, they got back on the winning roll with a 2-point win of the Chicago Sky. And then the Dallas Wings. I know Megan Price is happy about that game yesterday. 113 to 110 high scoring affair. And first off, before I even do that, we're going to go to the Aces and the Sky with a competitive game. Sky was down 13 in the fourth quarter. They made a furious comeback. Kennedy Carter hits the 3 to tie the game up at 75. And then Asia Wilson is Asia Wilson. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But as this game is over, Angel Reese did get a double-double. There's her 22nd double-double of the season, which ties Tina Charles for the most double-doubles by a rookie in a single season. Tina Charles did it back in 2010. I'm pretty sure Kuma Kane should remember that, as Tina Charles is part of the Atlanta Dream right now. But that's not the only thing. She had 22 rebounds yesterday, Angel Reese. That is the third straight game of her having 20-plus rebounds, which makes her the only, I don't care how you want to put it, she missed layups. She's the only player in the WNBA to have 3 straight 20 rebound games. You're not supposed to get 20 rebounds in a game, not even in the NBA. This woman has done it 3 times in her rookie season. She did it 3 in a row. Now, unfortunately, I got to bring you the numbers. Against the Phoenix Mercury, 19 points, 20 rebounds. Against the Connecticut Sun, 13 points, 20 rebounds, 2 blocks. And then yesterday against the Las Vegas Aces, 11 points, 22 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Unfortunately, however, Chicago lost all 3 games. It lost to Connecticut by 2. It lost to the Champs by 2. You pretty much got your ass whooped by Phoenix. Okay, that game was in Phoenix. You got your ass whooped. I ain't gonna hold you, but you got your ass whooped. You lost 2 at Connecticut. You lost by 2 to the Aces. So you lost 2 to the second best team in the land. AJ Wilson gave you 13 points, 20 rebounds. Should it be better from the field shooting? I agree. Can't go 3 for 12, but hey, things happen. 11 for 22 against the Champs. Can't go 4 for 16. I get that, but you lost by 2. And they lost all 3 games. I got it for me right here. Like I said, they got their ass whooped by the Phoenix Mercury. You lost by 2 to the Connecticut Sun, 2 by the Aces. It's just what it was like. But back to that Aces game, after Kennedy Carter hit the 3 to tie the game at 75, Kelsey Plum set a screen, and there was nobody outside of Lindsay Allen that can stop AJ Wilson from scoring a game-winning layup at the buzzer. And that's how the Aces take down the Chicago Sky at the buzzer by AJ freaking Wilson. And y'all want to talk MVP? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. There's no question who is the MVP. This woman is scoring almost 27 points a game, which is number 1 in the league. She's shooting at a 52% clip. She's giving you 38% from 3-point range. She's giving you 11.7 rebounds a game, which is second behind Angel Reese. You also get 2 to 3 assists from her. She got 2 steals a game, which is third in the WNBA, and 2.6 blocks per game, which is number 1 in the league. She is top 3 in points, rebounds, steals, and blocks. There is no race. Asia, mother and father Wilson, it is the MVP of the WNBA, and there's no questions about it. Now, I entertained it because y'all wanted to say Caitlin Clark should be right behind AJ Wilson for the MVP race. There was a top 3. Let's go AJ Wilson, Caitlin Clark. I was like, oh, no. Wait a minute. Did y'all forget about Napheesa Collier? Wait a minute. Asia Wilson, head and shoulders above everybody. If you want to put somebody second, it's Napheesa Collier. And then 3, you want to throw Kaden Clark in there? You can throw Kaden Clark in there. According to my boy Kuma Kane, he's throwing Enrique in there. So cool. You want to go Enrique 3? Because I don't think Enrique should be above Napheesa Collier, in my opinion. I'm just sorry. Because what Napheesa Collier is doing for the Minnesota Lynx, you cannot deny that. Okay. And plus they are a top 3 seed in the WNBA. Enrique, great. Dallas is not winning. Except for yesterday. This brings me to the last point of my weekend recap. 113-110 win by the Dallas Wings. And what you see here, that circle, that is the actual score in the fourth quarter. The Dallas Wings dropped 40 in the fourth quarter yesterday. 40. They scored 40 in the fourth quarter. And now some of you might be asking yourself, how did they drop 40 in the fourth quarter and only won by 3? Well, I have the answer for you. Because going into the fourth quarter, the Los Angeles Sparks were up 92-73 entering the fourth quarter, which is a 19-point lead. 19-point lead going into the fourth quarter. They got outscored 40-18, which is why they lost by 3. They got outscored by 22 points. Enrique gave you 33. Natasha Howard gave you 31. You had 3 Sparks score in the 20s. And the Sparks, I should have put it on here, but I didn't. But I'm pretty sure. Let me bring it up. Let me bring up the stats, because everything, when I looked at these stats, all these stats said LA's winning until they didn't. Like, I'm finna give them to you. All right, let's go to the box score. Okay, so Enrique Gomorrah gave you 33 points, 7 assists. Natasha Howard gave you 30 points, 7 rebounds. Okay, Satu Sabli gave you 19. Tristan McCloud gave you 17. That's pretty much the scoring for the Dallas Wings. It's pretty much they starters. Okay, you got 12 on the bench. Here's what the LA Sparks. This is what the LA Sparks have. You got 21 and 5 from the Rika Hamby. 21 points and 5 assists. Rakita Jackson gave you 25 points. She was on one. Rakita Jackson was on one yesterday. All right. And then Odyssey Sims off the bench for the Sparks gave you 26 points and 10 assists. Yes. I just gave you 3 players from the LA Sparks that dropped 20 plus points. That was when you had 2 players that dropped 30. None of the other players dropped 20. 3 players from the Sparks dropped 20 points. All right. It gets even worse. The LA Sparks shot 60% from the field. 60% from the field. They shot 50% from 3-point range. That's the LA Sparks. You shot 60% on the road and 50% from 3 on the road. Dallas Wings at home. 52.6 from the field. 36.4 from the field. And they found a way to win that game. And the LA Sparks had 29 assists on 39 made buckets. The largest lead that the LA Sparks had was 22. They had a 22-point lead at one point, and they had a 19-point lead entering the fourth quarter. And it went away. Like, I don't believe it. And yes, my brother, the Bearman of Texas, Alex Agazai is in the building. Yay, that was win. Yes, I did not expect a 40-point fourth quarter from the Dallas Wings yesterday. I will admit that. Cool. Speaking of Dallas, he says Enrique is number 1 in steals at 2.5, 3rd in points at 22.37, and assists at 5.3. Rebounds is 4.8 as a guard. Blocks is nothing to sneeze at. I'm with you. I say if you want to put a 3, you can put a 3. I ain't putting no above Enrique. Enrique has had to carry a trash team all season and multiple All-Star Game MVP. For this season, I am not putting Enrique above Napheesa Collier. I say you want to put a 3 in the MVP conversation, you can do that. But she ain't going above Napheesa Collier, not with what Napheesa Collier is doing for the Minnesota Lynx. I'm just not doing it. She can be third. You can have a conversation between her and Caitlin Clark because you know Caitlin Clark fans are gonna fight tooth and nail for their queen. Shout out to Ryan McCarthy for that one. Now they full strength now, but is it too late though? Is it too late? Because your dream was on the roll until they took a L to Phoenix. But I mean, 4-1 coming out the gate, nothing to sneeze at. The dream is trying to catch Chicago. They're trying to catch Chicago. So is it too late for the Dallas Wings to even make a run? It's the question. But yes, this is what happened to the Los Angeles Sparks at Dallas yesterday. A 19 blown fourth quarter lead to an L. Now they puts them in the driver's seat for Paige Beckers in that race. And speaking of which, let's go to the standings. As you can see here, your top 3 teams, they are in. The New York Liberty, the Connecticut Suns, and the Minnesota Lynx are in. As I said earlier, Connecticut was a half game ahead because they had one less loss than them, which is correct. 22-7 and 22-8. The teams that will be in my opinion, are the next group in the box. Seattle, Las Vegas, Phoenix, and yes, Indiana and Caitlin Clark will find a way to be in. Now, if they have a precipitous fall, which would be very interesting. But I do believe Caitlin Clark and Indiana will find a way to get in. And then the 3 teams at the bottom, the Washington Mystics, the Dallas Wings, and the Los Angeles Sparks, they are looking towards the draft. If you don't have 10 wins at this moment in time, I don't see you getting in because we only have 12 to 13 games left. I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough time for them 3 to make a move to get into the playoffs whatsoever. Okay. And then the 2 teams that you see not in the box, which is the Chicago Sky and the Atlanta Dream. Them 2 are fighting for that final spot, in my opinion. Right now, the Dream is just a half game behind the Chicago Sky. And I know my man Kuma Kane is holding on to the fact that they can catch the Chicago Sky and make the playoffs. All right. So, will it be the Dream? Will it be the Sky that gets that final spot? Alex says that was when actually playing alternate. Don't everybody in Dallas play freaking Arlington just about, except for the Rangers, who are the defending World Series champions, by the way. It says when you have the MVP runner-up, you can do it. He says Caitlin Clark is in the top 3. Hey, I'm just saying, I'm just focused on Asia Wilson and Napheesa Collier. But I know Caitlin Clark friend, they're gonna find a way to throw her in there. And I'm like, so if you want to throw Enrique Gomorrah in there, well, I'll have at it. And we'll see who comes out on top. But Caitlin Clark friend, they are not getting second in the MVP. I'm telling you that right now. Not over Napheesa Collier. It is not happening. It's just not. Now, we're gonna get out of here with some games for y'all to look forward to real quickly. All right. Today we got a triple header. We got the Fever and the Dream going at it. So cool. If your girls wants to make the playoffs, a win over Caitlin Clark and the Fever in the ATL will do quite well. 7:30 p.m. NBA TV. I might put that on one of the TVs when I'm done with talking wrestling with Kuma Kane. I might have to do that. 10 p.m. NBA TV, Mercury Live. Speaking of my New York Liberty, they are in Phoenix to take on the Phoenix Mercury. I do believe we owe them one because I think the last time it was in there, we lost a shootout game with them. I believe it was like 99 to 96 L that we took, one of our 5 losses. I think we owe them one, okay? I think we need to get back. And plus, we just got beat by Connecticut, so we usually don't lose back-to-back games. So Phoenix, y'all better be on your P's and Q's tonight. And then the Washington Mystics are in Seattle to take on the Seattle Storm. I think I like Washington. I think I like Washington to make it a battle, but I think Seattle's going to win. And Cool says what Cool got. Atlanta better get their asses in too much talent not to. Well, if you can beat Caitlin Clark in Indiana, that's a great start. That's a very great start. Tomorrow, August 27th, we have the speaking of the Dallas Wings, they're going against the reigning defending champion. So the man that Cool McCain is fighting for, so the woman that Cool McCain is fighting for to be in the MVP conversation, she's going against my MVP and Asia Wilson. Yeah, that should be a fun one on NBA TV. I might need to watch that game tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, we have 5 games on the docket Wednesday, August 28th. We'll be getting at 7 o'clock on NBA TV in Indiana, where Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are hosting the Connecticut Suns. Now, the first couple of meetings, the first 3 meetings for the Indiana Fever have not been so fun when it goes against Connecticut Sun. This is their last opportunity to find a way to get past the Connecticut Sun. If not, it'll be a season sweep of the Suns over the Indiana Fever. And we gonna see. We gonna see. NBA TV, 7 p.m. I'm locked loaded. And then we have to watch them in the Chi-Town to take on the Chicago Sky. Chicago needs this win. You got to win the games that you need to win. This is a game that you need to win. You should win. This is the Washington Mystics. They have not been good all year. You cannot lose to the Washington Mystics if you're the Chicago Sky and talking about getting into the playoffs. You can't lose to Washington. All right. That's at 8 p.m. At 10 p.m. 3 games at 10 p.m. Mercury Live, Barley Sports North Extra will have the Minnesota Lynx going against the Phoenix Mercury. Let's see if Napheesa Collier can continue on the road that she's been rolling on. And can Phoenix get on the road themselves, because they are up and down. You don't want to be up and down in the late part of the season. Then the Dallas Wings are in Seattle to take on the Seattle Storm. That should be an interesting matchup. Jude Lloyd, Ryan Howard, Nneka Ogwumike, and Tina Charles. That should be an interesting one. And also at 10 p.m. on NBA TV, Spectrum Sports Net, the New York Liberty are flying back out to LA to take on the Sparks. Last time we flew out there, we basically beat the brakes off them. Okay, I know it came down to like a 28-point win, but we was beating them by 40. So let's see how that goes in that rematch there. All right. That would do it for this edition of Shooting Lights Out. Thank y'all for chiming in. Shout out to my man Cool McCain, which I'll be seeing him in about a little over 3 hours. Shout out to my man, the Bearman of Texas. He's trying to get his groove back into the podcasting world now that football season is back. Shout out to my man Wise and Healthy, which you'll be hearing this very episode of Shooting Lights Out on the Real Rise Radio on Thursday night, prime time, 7 o'clock. And those of you who are listening to the background, thank you for your support. Thank you for your listening. And that would do it. I'm out. I'm going to take a break and get ready for Monsters Wrestling. Y'all see y'all at 6:30 today. Deuces.
You've done great. But you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You got to keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you got to keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud. Gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting